The Miami Dolphins are certainly going to be sellers at the trade deadline. And on today's show, we got the latest trade intel heading to the trade deadline. We'll have reports from Jordan Schultz, Dianna Russini, Ian Rapoport, because the Dolphins are receiving a ton of calls before the deadline. And if we're going to be honest, everything is on the table when it comes to Miami. Like, we have dispelled trading Jaylen Waddle, Devon Achane, Patrick Paul. But, I got to be honest, with the way the season's heading, would it be shocking if Miami just decided to do a full teardown? I don't think so. Now, would I trade Waddle? No, and we'll talk more about that in the latest reports around him. But I did want to share this quote from Mike McDaniel over the weekend when asked about potential trade rumors. He said that all rumors are baseless currently, and that's unfortunate because this time of year bothers me for the sake of individual players having to answer questions about rumors. Now, Mike, you say baseless, but now you're 1-6. You can't say these trade rumors are baseless when your team is clearly going to be trading people away at the deadline. Is it fair to the players to be asked on Thursday and Friday about if they've seen reports and the rumors? No, probably not. But it's going to be asked, and it deserves to be asked because the reporters are just doing their job, number one. And number two, we all know the Dolphins are going to be trading players away at the deadline. So it's not baseless. And there are some players that are getting way more interest than others, which we'll share those reports here in a second. But make sure you follow us over on IG. At Dolphins Today IG is the handle. Currently got 1,377 followers. Looking to get to 1,400. We put more content out over there. Shorts, posts, everything in between. Go check out more at Dolphins Today IG. So when you look at the Dolphins roster, I think these are the four top trade candidates that Miami has. Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and Jalen Wright. I know a lot of people are going to ask about Achane and Jaylen Waddle. Certainly, they are getting calls on those two. But if you're asking me legitimate players that could be traded, those are the four that I think are the most likely to be dealt. And I want to focus on the two edge rushers as we have done a lot over the past couple of weeks. Because Dianna Russini over the weekend reported that the Dolphins are getting lots of calls on pass rushers Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips. And this story was kind of corroborated by Jordan Schultz on Monday when he reported that teams are currently monitoring Phillips, Bradley Chubb, and even Matthew Judon ahead of the NFL trade deadline. So if Miami makes a pair of deals in a couple of trades, I would assume it has to do with some of their veteran edge rushers. And clearly Jalen Phillips is going to be the one that players and teams want the most, but he's also going to be the most expensive and valuable asset Miami currently has out of tradable guys. Phillips picked up his second sack of the season this past Sunday against Cleveland. He's been the best pass rusher statistically for Miami in terms of looking at his advanced numbers of pressures, pass rush win rate. Now the sacks haven't come, has 2 this season compared to Bradley Chubb's 4, but Phillips has been way better, especially in the run game as well. Phillips has set the edge. He's tackled better than the veteran Bradley Chubb. But if we're going to be real, both of these players will be having a lot of interest around them, and both of them should be traded if you're asking me. But let me know your thoughts before we continue. Pin comment, should the Dolphins trade Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips? Get down in the comment section and let me know why for yes or N for no. I think without a doubt, both should go. And this is not me, by the way, getting angry about the play by Phillips and Chubb. It's not me hating on them as players. Both should go just from a pure logical, common sense perspective. Just think about it this way. Assuming that Ross fires Mike McDaniel and Chris Grier in some capacity over the next 6 months, whether it's during the season or after the season, you will have a completely new regime making decisions. You have a new GM, a lot of new front office personnel, and a new head coach. Well, the coach and GM did not draft Jalen Phillips. They did not trade for Bradley Chubb. They did not coach Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips. So they are not going to be married to those two. So why not trade them now? it really would not make sense to keep them around because if you have a new GM, you have a new coach this offseason, you are not going to re-sign Jalen Phillips because he is a free agent. And why would he re-sign with Miami with a full new regime? And Bradley Chubb is likely going to be a post-June 1st one cut or trade because it saves you $20 million in cap space, and he currently has a $31 million cap hit. The two of them are just simply not going to be in Miami long term, so you should trade them now. You might be able to get a third for Jalen Phillips because he has a hot market with not a lot of teams selling pass rushers and a lot of teams buying. You might be able to get a fifth-round pick for Bradley Chubb. But there is no question about it. Those two should be played or traded before the November 4th trade deadline. Coming up in just 1 second, we got an update on Jaylen Waddle and the latest surrounding him in the trade rumor mill. But before we get into that, this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every single day. The right decisions on Prize Picks can get you paid. So simple, so easy to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. How you play is up to you. You want flexibility? Choose Flex Play, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the power play. No matter your play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the test. You can actually also follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, celebrity partner, just someone picks you like. Hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. You can even take an entry like mine. I took more than Steph Curry half a point on the max discount. Hopefully you did as well. Keep an eye on those max discounts. I got that paired up with Nikola Jovic, more than 6.5 rebounds and assists, and less than Paolo Banchero, 25.5 points. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. All right, now I want to take a look at the Jaylen Waddle trade rumors because we talked a lot about them late last week, and it was pretty frustrating, not going to lie, because I don't want to trade Waddle. He's my favorite player on the team, and I get why some people could make sense of it because it's like tear this whole thing down, get an extra first-round pick potentially. I still think it's a bad decision, and I'll explain why here in a second. But Ian Rapoport kind of mentioned that it doesn't seem likely that they are going to trade Jaylen Waddle, even if teams are calling, which they certainly have. Rapoport said sources say the teams that have been asking about Waddle have been told Miami has no interest in trading him. And to me, that is the right decision. To rebuild a roster, you need pillars. Like, you can't just do a complete teardown. You need to tear it down and rebuild, sure, but there needs to be a couple of guys that lead the locker room and kind of lead that rebuild. And those are called pillars. I think Jaylen Waddle is as much of a pillar as you can imagine. Drafted top 10 in 2021. 1,000 yards in every year of his career but one, and it was the year 2 missed 6 games. Like, this is a top 15, top 20 wide receiver in football who is still 26, under contract for 3 more seasons, and is a valued member of the community as well as the organization. Trading him away, even if you got a first-round pick, which I wouldn't even pick up the phone unless I got a first-round pick, would be a very bad decision. Keep Jaylen Waddle. Make sure you are subscribed because we're going to have you locked in on all trade rumors before that November 4th trade deadline. We're just under about 2 weeks away from that deadline. So make sure you're locked in because it's going to be here much sooner than anticipated. All right, calling on Jaylen Waddle. I think there are 4 teams that could be trading and calling for Jaylen Waddle. I think the New York Giants, Atlanta Falcons, San Francisco 49ers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are teams that I think would be calling. The Steelers are a team that I think would very much well be in on trading for Jaylen Waddle. They have longly looked as a wide receiver 1. We know the Giants' buzz have been the loudest. The Falcons looking to add another weapon potentially with Drake London. And the Niners with Ricky Pearsall kind of banged up, Brandon Ayuk being MIA. I think the 49ers are a sneaky team that could be calling on Jaylen Waddle. But the team that everyone wanted to talk about is the New York Giants. Well, Dianna and Russini kind of dispelled that a little bit, saying despite the loss of Malik Neighbors, the Giants aren't aggressively working the phones to add talent at receiver right now. Now, is that the right decision? I don't know, but I do like the fact that Russini is reporting this. I gotta be honest, because I don't want to trade Waddle. I can't trade him. I can't do it. I can't support it. If I got like 2 first-round picks, all right, yeah, I can't turn that down. I don't even know if I want to trade him for a first. It sounds all good, but you trade Waddle, and the next thing you know, wide receiver is one of your biggest needs. So why trade him? That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't want to trade Waddle. I want to keep him in Miami. I hope he's a Miami lifer. I don't think it would be smart to trade him. That'll do it for this episode of Dolphins Today. Like I said off the top, go follow us over on Instagram for more Dolphins content. We do post a lot over there as well in between our videos. So go give us a follow. Hopefully I see you over there.